merchants and the bankers too, who must get up and learn those rules. Riverman and Crazy Chief, one says sun and one says sleep. Now the AM, the FM, the PM too, turning out that boogaloo. It gets you up and it gets you out, but how long can you keep it up? I said, give me Honda, give me Sony. It's so cheap and it's so phony. Hong Kong dollar, Indian cents, English pounds and the Benjamins. I said, New York! Don't stop and give it all you got. Hey, New York! Come on and get up. Don't stop and give it all you got. Say, New York! Come on and get up. Don't stop and give it all you got. Say, New York! Get up. You just don't stop and give it all you got. Looking for a rise to better my station. Take my baby to sophistication. See the ads? Well, isn't it nice? Better work hard cause I know the price. Now, never mind that. It's time for the bus. And you'll get on cause you're one of us. The clocks go slow in the place of work. The minutes drag and the hours jerk. Now you wave bye-bye to the boss. It's your profit and it's his loss. You work anyway, the lunch bell rings. You take 1 hour and you do your thing.
Hey! So, this is my last show of 2020. My name is Andrew Einhorn. Welcome to On the Horn. My hair looks pretty messy, pretty cool, rock star. I have to be honest with you, I'm a little mentally depleted because I just spent an hour and a half interviewing my boy Vinny, and it was an amazing show. I put so much prep into it, as in 3 to 4 days shooting interviews, editing. Vinny gave me a ton of clips from his archive, which I edited, and everything was great. And we had such great banter. But when I played it back, there was this echoey audio. So I'm a little bit terrified, and I've had things like this happen before, and you know, I could pretend it doesn't exist, but it kills me. I put so much into it. By the way, after this, I'll probably take at least 2 weeks off. It's been a labor of love, but I need a little mental clarity. So I'm thinking at the last minute, what am I going to do? And I have all these pre-recorded segments, so I figured I'll run through them, and I can play some of what Vinny sent me, and maybe we'll go from there, and maybe I'll chat with people. I'm really just suddenly in a loss because it's just so disillusioning. I mean, it's not horrible, and I could play it. But, you know, when audio comes in, or it sounds like it's in a tin can. It's just so either way, I'm going to start, and I'm just going to wing it because that's the way we're going to do it. So hold on a second. On the horn. Oh, it was already there. I'm just a little bit frazzled. So hold on one sec. I hope you're there. It would be nice to chat with you here and there. So if there's someone out there, this was the opening that I had. Yeah, you should work when I hit play. Yeah, I know. Let's go back to me. Yeah, I always think I'm such a cool rapper, you know. Oh, I still love my setup here. Looks so nice. You should see the other side. It's full of stuff because I have to clean and stuff like that. So what to do? What to do? Do I run through the gamut of clips? Do I play? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Hold on a minute, as if you're going anywhere. Let me see. I'm going to play a minute of Vinny. I have to find where I put him because I literally just finished exporting 55 minutes. No, you know what? I'll go to another clip. David Letterman. So I'll tell you a little about my guest. You might have seen the promo. Vinnie Favale is somebody I met in, God, it must have been 10 at least years ago. And I met him through one of two people. One was a producer on a Playboy show. The other was like a, I don't know, independent producer doing television. But from the moment I met him, I just thought he was one of the coolest guys ever. And he was so entertainment world. You know, it's like he worked at CBS. At the time, he was working on Letterman's show. He was like the executive producer of late night television. So he was, I assumed, kind of in charge. And when I went to his office, you know, it's a nice office with a beautiful view, and there's a giant board, a dry erase board with 8 to 11 shows or things on it, or maybe it was bits that Letterman was going to do, and he was on 3 phones at once, but he was so full of happy energy. It was contagious. And I tend not to be shy, if you didn't know that. So I came in and I could just tell we had this bam, 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 bam. I probably got all of 10 or 15 minutes with him. And then it kind of became a recurring theme, you know, maybe every couple months when he had time. I think we did lunch once or twice. So I really treasure him as a person, and it was influential. And in looking back at all of the things that he has showed me, he's done a lot. He worked on Howard Stern for a while. He was a guest, did a little stand-up comedy. He helped founded Comedy Central, maybe a little MTV work, and then a lot on Letterman. Eventually, that ended after Colbert. And then he's starting to do a play now. He was doing an off-Broadway play. So, and he said, I'm working on an animation series. It's just, it's got that thing. Not that we all need to produce endlessly, but it for certain types. That being said, he's just happy and friendly and energetic. So I was asking a lot of things about David Letterman and things about bosses. We kind of talked ahead of time and said, this is what we'll kind of do. So I'm going to go and I'm going to try to go to a Letterman thing. So hi. And you have to bear with me because I'm a little verklempt. I don't know what the word is. There's got to be something. Disillusioned. I mean, you pay money for this program, and it doesn't always seem to work right, even though I love it. So David Letterman, I'm sure you've heard of the guy. A lot of people haven't. And this was kind of like, what do you remember? I was trying to think what Vinny would like to hear, you know, and 1 or 2 people are really well spoken, and I enjoyed that. Any thoughts on what you liked or favorite memories or anything?
Favorite memories were actually before he went prime time. His late night show.
Yeah, it was the Late Late Show, I think.
The Late Late Show. For me, I'm old enough to remember Ernie Kovacs and people like that. And there was that element of insanity in that Late Late Show that I loved. And it harkened back to the earlier days of television where people took more chances.
Definitely sad to see his late night show. And
he was a very amusing and topical guy, very, very comfortable to watch. I enjoyed him. He seemed authentic.
Oh, he was great. I loved him.
Because?
He was kind of anti-establishment. He was like the anti-host, right?
I absolutely love David Letterman. He's a hero to me. He's an icon. I mean, I started watching when I was in college. I remember playing backgammon with my friend, and we watched his crazy stuff, dropping things off the rooftops. He was edgy. And then, like other people say, he settled into an amazing career as a great interviewer. And his just sort of quirky, off-the-cuff monologues I love. Just everything about him.
There was less commercialism in those days. The hosts actually got to pick their guests rather than having guests on because some PR company was saying, you know, they're doing a new book or they're doing a new movie. This is whom you've got to interview.
I think the thing that stood out to me most about Letterman is that he became such a great interviewer. He went from a stand-up comedian, and he had, you know, close relationship with Johnny Carson, the feud with Jay Leno, and he was supposed to take over the show and the feud and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But in the process of him doing his show, he became such a surgical interviewer.
Yeah.
And there was a couple of times where he interviewed, I think it was either Dick Cheney or Bush or someone from his administration. They were talking about Iraq. He just wouldn't let that person kind of spin or fuzzy math their way out of it.
And I remember he had Trump on once, and he really gave it to him. He really needled him. So that was nice.
I really appreciated the kind of like, cool, laid back sort of like, the weapons turned out to be a bunch of donkeys and spark plugs. So tell us, how did we go from nuclear weapons to livestock?
Nuclear weapons to livestock. Hey, thanks. Bear with me for a second. I'm very interested to see something. Show 25, Vinnie Favale. Nope, that doesn't seem good. All right, I just exported something. Well, I'm glad the audio sounds good. Part of it is a balance between the pre-records and my mic, which I've been working on, and I think they should be pretty much even. I don't want to suddenly be super loud when that's quiet or vice versa. So I'm going to just keep on playing clips. I just feel like this is a fun thing to do. And so Vinny, and this speaks for itself. He goes way back. You have to bear with me a little bit here. So he's been on Letterman a bunch of times. And let's see. Well, that was David Letterman's. Let's see. Comedy Affected. Chess cocaine. I can't say that. We kind of talked about the state of how politically incorrect, in this day and age of Me Too, and people have to be so careful. I am worried about my future. I just know that somewhere, somehow, it's going to affect me, but let's hope not. Maybe I'll go to Ringo Starr. So Vinny was on with Ringo Starr once and kept. Sorry, just a minute. Give me a second. It's only about a minute and a half. So this is Vinny was in the studio, and he told me during our interview that he actually kind of made up all the questions. That when you do an interview, you make the questions and you get answers ready, but then you pretend that everything was spontaneous, which was kind of new to me. Okay. It's also nice to be chatting with Ringo Starr.
Here's Ringo with the new CD. It don't come easy.
Good morning, everybody.
Here is Ringo, looking better than ever. Vinny and Joe were fighting about Fear Factor.
Oh, it's good. Do you watch Fear Factor on NBC?
No, it's not retroactive.
It's
you mean
not?
since birth?
Vinny, please be quiet until we get to Beatles trivia. Ringo's in an apartment.
I'm in an
How
apartment.
big an apartment? Subsidized?
Wow.
Listen to you.
Vinny, please don't interrupt. Really, honestly.
It's
I want
very
to.
nice.
He's a slacker.
Shut up, Vinny. What are you insulting Ringo?
That's good. You look like a slacker. One thing came up at one of the meetings. I don't know if you were there. McCartney asked.
The meetings, were you there?
No, but I heard about this. McCartney
Oh, yeah.
asked.
He reads the internet.
That's
Hold
even
on. No,
worse.
this is a valid.
Well, she's protecting John's rights.
she's right.
I'm only telling you her point of view.
Right. Paul was telling him how to play drums on Back in the USSR.
Hey, Vinny, could you let Ringo answer that, please?
But that wasn't the reason. I don't care what this guy says.
Thank you.
Who seems to feel he knows everything.
I thought. I'm sorry.
Why don't you go and have a cup of tea,
I'm
Vinny?
sorry.
Yeah, Vinny, mellow out.
Well, he's my
Ringo's the
favorite
Beatle that didn't hate anyone, and he hates you. He hates you more than he hated the other three when he left the band.
He wants to leave you.
I've never hated anyone. In the last 15 minutes, I'm learning.
Great stuff. Interesting. So evidently what we saw there and what really happened is not quite the same. All right. Hi, Kelsey. Glad to hear you can see that. How has comedy been affected by, what I want to do? I just want to play a minute of this, and I'm curious on your end how it sounds, because this is where I did not think it's good. So we had about an hour and 20-minute chat, and then I cut it down to a little less than an hour, and I just exported it. But I'm telling you, the audio to me didn't sound great. And if I speak right into the mic, this should sound very good, does it not? There should be no echo. It should be just fine. That camera is off. Anyway, sorry, I'm just sort of learning through you. Let me see how this goes. Show export Chrome tab. Show export Chrome tab. Let's see how this goes. So, Vinnie Favale, welcome back to On the Horn.
Welcome back. How long have we been here? Did I sleep here the last couple months?
Let me just say, right off the bat, you are tied for the most appearances on this show.
Really? What was my last appearance?
At one. Yesterday when we were, fiddling around.
Oh, I get you.
Yeah.
It's great to be back.
Good. You look super.
Can I be like Bob Hope with the Tonight Show? Like I was just next door, and I have to leave in 5 minutes, so I'm just gonna come in and you can kiss my ass, and then I'll leave.
Bob Hope, you're showing your
Okay,
age.
well, there it is. Yeah, there's something that one, and Chris, you would probably know. So I don't know, which is such a shame because I'm gonna look through the
Listen to
thing.
that album when I was going into it now.
Fuck. Vinny and I had so much in common about talking about our ages aren't that much different. He's a few years older than me, so going back to like the 70s and comedians and who did what and how he felt about it, and it was just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So I will continue. Let me look at my sheet, just let you know that I just can't stand to play that when it sounds like it's coming out of a tin can. So Vinny, after graduating Brooklyn College, 1980, worked for WNBC Radio. Then immediately did some stand-up on David Letterman. In 83, went to MTV. Then he helped launch VH1 and Nickelodeon. Jeez. 1986, went to work for A&E. 1989, went to work at HBO, where he was one of the founders of Comedy Channel, Comedy Central. Did a bunch of bits, which maybe I'll play. 96, went over to become the senior vice president of late night entertainment, where he oversaw the David Letterman show and appeared many times in many comedy bits. 98, developed and oversaw the Howard Stern show, which aired for 3 years. I appeared on there over 22-year period. He did a lot of games, a lot of bits. They played a game where he wrote a really bad song and then had 1,000 people write in and sing it. And in the end, they had 3 people compete. And it was like, one was Robert Goulet, and then 2 other like bluegrass country people. It was great. So he said, I'm famous for having the worst song ever written. He also met his wife. Sounds kind of medieval, through the phone, or they never met each other in person, but just conversed. And he said they fell in love sight unseen. Not a nice story. When is that going to happen? And now he's doing a Broadway show. Let's go to something else. So we did Ringo Starr. And again, I'm just kind of winging it. Tough Bosses. And after this, let's see. Okay. And I think he wanted me to ask this because he said, well, it wasn't quite right that some of the bosses along the way have been tough. But I thought this was like a decent question for New Yorkers, just to see what they would have to say about people they've worked for. I'm sure we've all.
Did you ever have any really tough bosses?
Tough bosses?
Yeah.
Many.
We couldn't put anything on the air.
I've had tough bosses, yeah.
Good. Tell me about it. What's that been like?
Oh, let it out.
I think of hard, not hard in terms of demanding. I like demanding because it made me work better.
Yeah.
I think of hard in terms of irrational.
Unpredictable.
Mm-hmm.
Emotionally unstable.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a tough boss, but I love her.
Yeah.
I actually love people who push me to be better, to improve myself, and I currently have that kind of boss, and sometimes she gets on my nerves, but she's the best.
Any hard bosses that you've ever had in your life?
Yeah, I had a real shit boss last year. It was very challenging.
Keep going.
I learned a lot. I learned how to grind.
Retail bosses are really tough, but it's mostly because they're also in a tough position.
Mm-hmm.
Mid-level management is not like a fun job, and I think my worst bosses have been mid-level managers just trying to do their best.
I've had some bad European bosses actually. Some particularly an aggressive Austrian.
The tougher they are, the better, because whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So
when you're going through hell, just keep going.
As a freelancer, I've had almost no bosses, but one guy, Mike Mannix, was kind of hard because he came in at like 4 in the afternoon, stayed till 6 in the morning, so he expected you to work really late. He kind of talked like this because he was from Toronto. No.
The toughest boss I've ever had, though, is myself.
Keep going. I like
keep pushing.
Yeah.
Never retire. Just always on to the next level.
That's what it's like as a freelancer. Chris, if you're still watching, you got in a little Mike Mannix there, no? He wasn't exactly the toughest boss. Maybe you were, but he kind of talked like this. And I didn't mention the cocaine that he did. Whoops, sorry. Yeah, but right. He came in sometimes 1, 2, 3, 4 in the afternoon, stayed through the night as we did our freaking Velocity shows upstairs. I'm just going to keep playing clips. By the way, I just look at these things. Are we going to look 6 months, a year out and look at this footage of everybody hidden in a burqa and just, it's going to look so dated, is it not? Maybe not in Wuhan, China, but in general, it's just, it's awful. It's awful. We're getting used to it. But for me, who goes out and does interviews and like, if anybody's soft spoken, it's out. I asked one question, I got to go. Because if you're talking through this, if you're soft-spoken and cough-tongued through a mask, you're not going to hear. We're just behind this veil. And the thought that potentially we're all carrying an invisible death sentence. Invisible. It's invisible. We can't see it. And you don't know you have it. All right. I don't want to drown. I mean, it's just so bizarre, this era we're in. And I can't wait for it to be over. My friend is a nurse, and he says, now February, end of January, February. And then you see on the news, June. So which is it? That's a big 4-month. That's like a 5-month disparity. Just shoot me in the arm now. Okay, let's stop the screen and go to something else. So Vinny, he said when the show, I don't even remember what it was, something gay-oriented, and I'm sorry if that's a generalization, but he said CBS decided to make this little bit, and they had him doing it, even though he was just an executive and not an actor. But one thing he said was interesting. He said Dave Letterman knew that sometimes you could take common people, see it as Rupert G. This is going way back, but taking Biff, the stage manager, you take normal people and don't force them to be so crazy acting, and it balances with the other people. And so they said, let's use you for this bit. And I think it doesn't need much explanation because I thought it was pretty funny. They called it Gay Crazy.
As you probably know, the new television season is just around the corner, so we asked CBS executive Vinnie Favale to be here with us tonight to tell us what the network has in store for all of us viewers this fall. Here's Vinnie Favale, ladies and gentlemen.
Dave, with the recent success of Queer Eye for the Straight Guy and Boy Meets Boy, we here at CBS have learned an important lesson. America's gone gay crazy. With recent studies showing that 75% of all Americans are gay, this is an exciting new market to tap into. Excuse the expression.
Yeah, right.
Okay. With awesome new gay programs such as Very, Very Big Brother, Everybody Loves Morley, and Jag. CBS is going to be the gayest network ever. It's Gayapalooza. And Dave, don't think we haven't found a way to gay up your show.
Oh, great.
Say hello to your new love interest, Doug.
Oh,
Doug?
it's Doug. Thank you very much.
CBS, we're really, really gay.
Okay. Vinnie Favale, ladies and gentlemen. Whoa. That thing's in Albany. Did you see that take off?
Lovely, yeah. Nice trajectory.
I left it in because I like where it said nice trajectory. Oh my God, it doesn't feel that old, but shoot, looking back at Letterman throwing those cards through the window and then going psh, with the exploding glass. Well, that last guy was really handsome, was he not? He was like the ideal prototypical handsome man. Probably wasn't even gay, but yeah, maybe he was. Doesn't really matter. Do you think, I was looking at originally thinking they can't get away with something like that today, but it's pretty harmless, right? And now I think it would, I think you get away with that. I shouldn't even say get away with it. It's just sort of a fun. Then again,
some of those things. Hey, 75% of America is gay. It's a little un-PC because everything is un-PC. Let's see. Chess Cone Kane, Jared Leto, Kardashian. So my friend Ronald said I shouldn't ask such old school questions and do something more fun like Kim Kardashian or Paris Hilton, which Vinny said that's not that recent anyway. And then is Jared Leto hot? And out of the blue, chess or cocaine? Chess or cocaine? I know they don't necessarily stack up, but that's the way it goes. Is tomorrow night New Year's Eve? Are we all going to be huddled into our New York apartments or visiting people and going to a socially distanced cocktail party on the roof for an hour, freezing? Oh, go away, COVID, go away. What do you want to see? Let's see. We did the tough bosses. There are other things. Let me just see what Vinny has, because we did Ringo Starr. We did Gay Crazy. Debbie tapes. He was a little embarrassed by that. This is where he used to do love letters to his wife before meeting her, which was basically him talking in a microphone at night, wooing her, which was very cute, but it's a little embarrassing. Condomania, we can accept that. Restless. Okay. I did not play that, did I? No. Hey, let me see. Let's go and do this one. This was where Vinny wrote a really bad song. Did I already do this? I'm already losing my memory. Sorry about that. And different people. No, I didn't play this yet because now we get to see Robert Goulet. All right. Share screen. So the idea was that Vinny and his partner wrote a really bad song and they had a competition. I think I already said this, but I didn't show it. Did I show it? I don't think I showed it.
What don't you fucking understand?
I'm excited. It's finally here. Judgment Day. Vinnie Favale and Tom Gesimundo. So these two maniacs get together and write songs together. We had to narrow it down to 3 finalists. This man's name is Mr. Robert Goulet.
You wore your purple dress. I put on my dancing shoes. Night like all the rest.
You wore your purple dress. I put on my dancing shoes. A night like all the rest. I didn't have a clue. I picked you up at 10 and to a fault you were quiet. I didn't know it then, but I was off your diet. Ooh.
Restless, she starts to feel that way. You used to leave her breathless, and now you leave her with nothing to say.
I think the thing about that was that the song is really bad. If you listen to the lyrics, they don't always rhyme, but it just goes to show you when you get 3 quality musicians, sounds great. That was the same song too. Robert Goulet did his thing, and then the other 2 guys were a little more country, and they're harmonizing. Sounded great. So anybody can probably make a bad song sound better, which sounds like lyrics in itself. Make a bad song sound better. Comedy affected. Did I do that one? I'm losing my, normally, you know, I have there's a script here and all. Well, it is what it is, as the kids say. Maybe we'll go to a Kim Kardashian. I'm just looking at a note from Billy right now who said, I know the feeling. I guess when you're in the technical, let's see. He says, I know the feeling when we were rehearsing hereafter. I was shooting video, dealing with audio, and I should have been watching to evaluate performances. We need clones. Yeah, clones would be good. Just a whole production company would really be good. And an assistant when I go out and shoot my stuff, because my friend Brian Repka does an amazing job, but deserves to be paid, and I can't afford to do that. So Brian, if you're watching, working on it, you know, it's here. Somehow, somewhere, it's going to make it happen because you're a great shooter. What else? Anything personal I'd like to talk about? Nah, not really. Let's see. Let's go to Jared Leto. What do you say? So I can't remember. Did I put in? I think I put in some pictures because I'd actually done a shoot with Jared many, many, many moons ago, and I might even explain it in my answer. So
Having fun? At least you get to see these. I'm going to go back and watch this later and try to see whether the sound, which is beautiful in my ear pods, whether it comes out a little bit tinny. When it does that, bad. Bad, bad, bad to the bone. Do you think Jared Leto is hot?
Yeah, I'm a straight man, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
'Cause I am a huge fan of his.
Jared Leto. Who the hell is Jared Leto?
He was in like Dallas Buyers Club, right? Dallas Buyers Club.
Oh,
the one that played-
yeah.
I'd say yeah.
I'd say yeah.
I only know him from being a really bad Joker.
Oh, I have no idea.
The answer's no. No.
No.
In his own way, yeah, hot in his own way.
He's one of my idols.
Do you think Jared Leto is hot?
No. No. We're lesbians. Well, I'm a lesbian.
You can still think he's
He's
hot.
very handsome. We're just not wild about him.
Absolutely. Hot as hot pepper. Maybe cayenne.
Jared Leto is definitely hot. I mean, I photographed him. I'll show you a picture right now. When he was like 19 before he went to Hollywood and hit it big. So, I mean, I discovered him because I saw him in a club in Philly. That long hair, those blue eyes. I was like, I'm a straight fashion photographer, but you are one handsome man. Let's go out and shoot. Next day, we're out shooting fashion shots without a shirt. And let's take a look at these pictures.
I tossed those in. It's always the fear of like, am I going to get sued for that? I don't know. Could. Hopefully not. Well, you know, it was a shoot. The question is he a celebrity? Yes. Is it out in public? Sort of. Is it private property? I don't know. I used to shoot in this place in Philly. It was like in the suburbs. It was an abandoned industrial area. It's not a park, but it's also, there was nothing there. So guess I'll find out. It's only a matter of time. Either I slip up saying the wrong thing or I show something. Anyway, that was fun though. I like that, you know, get to see the 60% of the people who actually knew who he was. Comedy affected. Did we talk about this? How has comedy affected? We probably did. Let me see. I just want to watch it. I don't know. I'm going to play this because I'm not sure if I did it or not. Again, you have to pardon me. Comedy, because has comedy been affected by our state of politically correctness? I don't remember if I shared this or not. Do you think the state of comedy has changed in the era we're in now?
Oh, 100%. And it's terrible. I think a lot of people have lost sight of intent. And maybe it's the medium that we consume a lot of the content now. You know, the same way you can send an email and then something gets lost in that translation. Someone reads it the wrong way. But there's something about seeing something on Instagram, the mic's only on the comedian. You don't really hear the crowd's reaction, right? So that social proof element is gone. Like the subtle, intangible elements that kind of tell someone second and tertiary levels of communication that say, hey, this is a joke. Hey, I'm just kidding. Hey, I don't really believe these things. And so I think you're starting to see more of a polarization where we had a lot of people, comedians in the middle, who would be edgy.
Can I just say that this is one of the most thoughtful answers ever? Granted, it's in the area of comedy, which I, feel close to, but analyzing in this day of the Me Too and the COVID and Instagram and whatever is, how different people hear things, perceive things when you don't have the audience reaction. It was just so thoughtful.
Edgy a little bit. And then it was like, well, are they kidding? Of course they are. And now we don't know. So those people kind of got pushed to the side, and you're either going to be completely clean, or you're going to always be a shock comedian. Like you got a Daniel Tosh, who's always saying awful things. And so that's already been his shtick.
Right.
And so when he says something horrible and misogynist, which is his gender skew that he rides pretty hard, you're like, oh yeah, I already know this guy. I know his style. I know it's all a joke. And so you're just getting more of that and less in the middle.
Wow. Just love that. That makes me happy personally because that makes sense. Sure. So, when I was talking to Vinny
I'm always interested in doing new things. You know, I've gone out and done these shoots, which I absolutely love, schmoozing with people, rollerblading around. It's getting really cold, so there's less and less people out, but that's only going to be another couple of months. Next thing you know, it'll be in spring, all getting the shot in our arm. But there was events like I was going to call it the eclipse, where the two planets, where Saturn and Jupiter were aligned, and all these people came down, and I thought, man, I should be filming this or interviewing people. It was such a spiritual moment. And like my old public access show, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of events in and around all over New York City, and they're fun to cover. So do I go out and film those? What can I do? Where can I go? What's going to shed light, maybe comedy on our world? Maybe it's just pure fun, like the mermaid parades and Chinese New Year's and tattoo festivals and dog marches and Puerto Rican Day parades, because I would do it all. But I don't know, at the same time, I feel like one should break new ground. I often look at Anthony Bourdain and what he did, and I was a huge fan. And I'd like to get out and travel and see parts of the world. He sort of related food and culture, which was a great combination. And of course, he had an amazing team, great cinematographers. But if I could find a dance somewhere in there, and I'm not sure, but these are in my mind. And if anybody suddenly is like, you know what, I'd like to see you do this or that, sure, let me know. Thanks, Rachel. Hi. Yeah. Okay, so I'm not going to last much longer. I'm going to go to Paris Hilton, and I do appreciate you staying here because I did have a whole hour of Vinny and I, and just the audio kills me, and I'm sad about that. But we'll just keep playing this clip. Just a few more. The last one with chess and cocaine is really good because I also did something comedy-wise, and I think I kept it out because I'm afraid I would probably offend you. How is it out there in Squirrel Hill, Pittsburgh, young Mrs. Rosen? Probably quite nice. All right, let's see. Stop screen. Share screen. It's hard to care about Kim Kardashian or Paris Hilton, but that being said, could be fun to hear what they have to say. And they're gone. Where are you? Kim Kardashian or Paris Hilton?
Paris Hilton. She's very yesterday, so I like that.
Paris Hilton, I did happen to see, only because I happened to see photos of Kim Kardashian on Christmas Day. I don't know if you saw those photos of her like wishing everyone a happy Christmas. Like, she is awful.
I think Kim Kardashian. I loved her. Did you see her Christmas outfit?
Can't go wrong with Kim, man. Kim all the way.
It seems to me that Kardashian is a more thoughtful person.
They're comedians?
No.
I lost it there. I was like, what? When did they start doing stand-up? Please don't.
None. They're both stupid.
How do you choose between the same kind of person?
Kim Kardashian.
Paris Hilton, I don't like Kim Kardashian.
Paris Hilton.
Paris Hilton, because
come on.
Kim Kardashian or Paris Hilton? Well, you have two physically opposing bodies.
Yes.
With very similar audiences.
Yes.
And I think that Paris Hilton actually has the staying power.
What? How famous is your show?
Well, what's the right answer?
Don't be modest. We're just
don't be modest.
Do you want to do Bobby or not? I mean,
we're a little.
Not.
Honestly, I've only seen Kim Kardashian once on TV. It made me ill. Boo. So I go Paris Hilton, and she also made a sex tape, which I found amusing.
You got to go Paris Hilton because can't disrespect Kanye.
And I think she had like that night vision on, and that made it extra tabloid-ish.
I like Paris. I like that she has a mansion for her dogs. It's just like she's not shy about how much money she spends. Kim like makes it try to look effortless. Paris is like gaudy and she leans into it. You know? What about you?
Paris. I want to read her book.
she's gaudy and leans into it. You know, you can pick up so much from these interviews. People say the coolest things, a word, a phrase, a slogan, an adjective, a misspelling, whatever it is. It's like when a comedian, what do the comedians say? You've got to own it. Actually, anybody could own it, but she's gaudy and she leans into it. Write that down. Leans into it. Hold on. I really am going to write that down. Remember, I used to do this thing that said what things my therapist would say, and probably does, which was true. Gaudy and leans
into it. I guess you could put leans into it with anything, but somehow gaudy and leans into it seems to be nice. Ain't that America? I think we're down to one, chess and cocaine. I think if there's any questions, they could be silly or smart that you would like to see me ask, or sexual, whatever it is. I got the camera, I got the setup. And one good thing is I kind of got my setup really totally there. I'm shooting on an iPhone with a bracket, with another handle, and I got 2 mics, and they're covered in fuzzies. So it looks like these dead cats, they're called, like a squirrel tail. One is facing one way and one's facing the other, but you can't tell. But it's kind of like driving a car. And then you got to balance the audio. And it's seamless because I'm adjusting it in post, as we say. But to get a good, if I didn't use any microphone, it would sound like shit because the microphone is pointing straight down and it's huge. Which is why when COVID's done, it's going to be better because I can get closer to them and thus better audio. Relax. Come to the saunas of Brecker Hills in Idaho. Soothing hot water. Bring your loved ones. Bring your dog. I don't know where I'm going with that. All right. Paris, she was wasted. Less of our time. Thanks, Rach. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it all depends on how much you want to pay attention to, right? I only get the Kardashian when it pops up here or there. I did enjoy when she did the naked thing where she was all curvy and what was pouring milk down. I mean, it was, I don't want to say it was cheap. It was purely sexual. It was like, I've got this amazing curvy body and I'm going to make use of it. I mean, I think Helmut Newton did things like that. You really, if you're not making a statement about her personality, you're saying, here's the curves and it kind of looks cool when you pour milk or throw confetti down. All right, that's just my visceral thought. You know, and that could be done with guys too, right? I think back to, there was ads for like Calvin Klein underwear where this guy was in Greece on a rooftop. So this incredibly good looking guy stretched down. It was just blue sky, handsome man, white underwear. I guess you could say that about all fashion or artwork a lot. It's just sex for sex sake. Anyway, I ramble on. Let's go to chess and cocaine. So I was excited because it was at the end of the day. I knew this would be my last interview of the year. And I gave this young 16-year-old dude a camera. And I give someone a camera every week and I make them film me. And they always seem to like it. It's like, yeah, I'll film you. Which I like that. They don't go, no, I don't feel like doing it. So I got a little excited and kind of ran away and skated, but this makes me happy. It seemed to make Vinny happy when I played it for him. And then we come back, think of something to say because that's probably going to be it. And we shall look at the state of our world in the year 2021. Chess or cocaine? Thank you, Ron, if you're watching for this unusual question. Unusual questions are fun. You just like, it's fun to say this or that. It could be anything. Sneakers or bubblegum. Your cousin-in-law or sheep shears. And now it's time for Shearing Sheep, the program in Northern Covington where we shear sheep and decide which colors should be used for what sweaters on BBC4.
Yeah, that's a question. Just visceral.
Sorry about
Chess or cocaine?
Neither.
Together. Yeah, that's a question. Just visceral. Chess or cocaine?
What is chess? Oh, the game?
Yeah.
Chess.
I think chess, honestly.
Chess or
Chess.
cocaine?
I play a lot of chess, so chess.
Chess. Chess, man. Chess.
Chess, man. I just want to say that the guy that hold on, let me bring myself in. Oh man, there's so many different things. So it's this kid, and guess what? He was a twin. Though they're twins. This is fun. You can do whatever you want when you're running the show. Look at that hair. Wow. They do not look alike. And yet he was the guy I said, can you film me? And he said, yeah. And then I went to the other bench and we socially distanced and he filmed. Very steady too. He did a good job. Look at that hair. I look at that and I'm sorry if he's watching, but I get the feeling when you're like 35, all of it's gone. See, a lot of people with big fluffy hair as teenagers and then it kind of disappears. Okay, that's not for here or there for hair.
Chess.
Chess, man. Chess.
Chess.
I would have to go with chess because the mental state it puts you in, I think, is more fun than coke.
Chess or cocaine?
Chess or cocaine, like the Queen's Gambit.
Well, why not chess and cocaine?
How about chess on cocaine? Huh?
Or both.
Actually, if you did chess with cocaine, you'd need a little Cavassier to slow you down.
You know, I'm gonna have to go with coke. I don't do coke, but I don't do chess either. I tried it.
Yeah.
But I did see the show. I finished it in a day. The Queen's Gambit.
Fantastic.
It made me like chess.
Chess? I don't really do either.
If I knew how to play chess, I would say chess.
And nothing has made me like coke. Actually, you know what? Let's go back to chess. I'll choose chess.
Oh, it's got to be cocaine.
Really?
I'm not saying I do it, you know, but a little bit. And chess, I think it's beautiful aesthetically, right? You got all those little animals on the thing, and it's a black and white, and the Queen's Gambit was amazing, but coke wins. I did it. I'm the last interview for 2020. This is it. It ends with me. It started with me, and it ends with me. Goodbye.
Oh, does that make me happy? You know what? I was listening to that, and for the first time, I heard some woman behind me because, again, I got the two mics talking about like a recipe. While I'm doing my thing, my last interview of the year, skating away, and somebody behind me has to be talking about what souffle needs how much flour. Hello. Well, it's 9:48. This is probably the earliest I would have left any show ever, which you're probably saying, well, you could have done that before. And again, I've got an hour of footage of Vinny, but I can't play it. And I will work hard to remedy these audio glitches because it is very disconcerting. When I tell you I was up till 4:30 in the morning last night trying to take some of Vinny's videos off of YouTube, which they wouldn't work. Some would and some wouldn't. And I was editing his stuff. And I mean, something like this, I had probably 12 edits, not to mention the shooting. Anyway, I don't want to, just telling you what goes into it, which is why it saddens me all the more when we do the interview and the audio wasn't good, because our banter was great. And maybe one day I'll put it up and people can watch because he's a special guy. But I appreciate everybody who has been here and stopped by and watched the show and given me support. It does mean a lot. I don't know what the future will hold. I don't think anybody does, but especially with me, who could veer off in any direction at any time. But I hope I get to stay doing things like this, where I can explore and create and shoot all the things that make me happy. And I will leave it at that. So let's go to Vinny's. If you didn't see this at the beginning, you get a few still photos to see little snippets of his life. And it's banners that I need to go to. Banners. I might chat with you for the next 2 minutes while this plays. But again, thank you so much. It's been my honor, my pleasure. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for being.
Get up. Let's do it for real. Ring, ring, 7 a.m. Move yourself to go again. Cold water in your face is gonna bring you back to this awful place. Knuckle merchants and the bankers too, who must get up and learn those rules. Riverman and Crazy Chief, one says sun and one says sleep. Now the AM, the FM, the PM too, turning out that boogaloo. It gets you up and it gets you out, but how long can you keep it up? I said, give me Honda, give me Sony. It's so cheap and it's so phony. Hong Kong dollar, Indian cents, English pounds and the Benjamins. I said, New York! Don't stop and give it all you got. Say New York! Come on and get up. Don't stop and give it all you got. Say New York! Come on and get up. Don't give it all you got. Say New York! Get up. You just don't stop, give it all you got. Looking for a rise to better my station. Take my baby to sophistication. Seen the ads, well isn't it nice? Better work hard cause I know the price. Now never mind that, it's time for the bus. And you'll get on cause you're one of us. The clocks go slow in the place of work. The minutes drag and the hours jerk. Bye to the boss. It's your profit, it's his loss. You work anyway, the lunch bell rings. You take 1 hour and you do your thing.